Do you think everyone has already judged you, that your enemies, your co-workers, even your family have seen exactly who you are and what you're capable of? Stop right there, because the truth is they've never seen your real strength. Not even close. They've underestimated you, dismissed you, written you off as quiet, ordinary, harmless. And all the while, beneath the surface, you've been building something they couldn't possibly recognize, a power so subtle, so precise, that it defies their expectations entirely. Think about it. How often have you been in rooms where people laughed at your ideas, ignored your warnings, or overlooked your potential? At work, the boardroom chatter never credits the quiet observer. At family gatherings, your patience and insight go unnoticed. In your social circles, your real intentions are invisible to the loudest voices. They only see what's easy to see: the surface, the performance, the noise. What they mistake for weakness is actually your camouflage, your strategy. The quiet shaping of influence they cannot comprehend. This is where you step into the identity of a chosen one, a spiritual assassin in plain sight. You exist, but not to perform. You observe, you analyze, and you prepare without the need to declare it. Every subtle action, every restraint, every measured response is a silent movement on a battlefield they haven't even realized exists. And the beauty is they don't even know what they're missing. That trait they mocked as hesitation. It's your foresight. That silence they misread as passivity, it's your control. Every underestimated moment is actually a layer of mastery building beneath their radar. Right now, think about your own life, your own. How many times have you been dismissed, ignored, or treated as if your voice didn't matter? How often did someone assume they knew your limits, only to be surprised later by the quiet force you unleashed? That pattern isn't coincidence, it's the hidden story of resilience, of strategy, of alignment. You've been preparing even when the world didn't notice, even when the applause never came. And here's the question you need to ask yourself. Have you truly recognized the extent of your own strength? Have you realized just how many weak moments were actually your greatest advantages? Today we're going to explore that hidden power, the force that moves silently but lands with precision, the one that transforms the overlooked, underestimated, and underestimated into unstoppable. Stay with me, because once you understand this, you'll never look at yourself or the world the same way again. Now that you've glimpsed the truth of being underestimated, it's time to understand the full scope of your silent strength. This isn't about the loud displays, the dramatic victories, or proving yourself in the eyes of others. Real power lives quietly in the spaces between action and reaction, in the unseen layers of patience, observation, and foresight. It's strategic, deliberate, and invisible until the moment it strikes with precision. Imagine your life as a chessboard, each move calculated not for immediate applause, but for a victory that only time can reveal. Your true weapons aren't raised fists or sharp words, they are stillness, steadfastness, and the ability to read the room, the situation, and the intentions of those around you. These are the tools the world rarely notices but cannot ignore when the results unfold. Let's break down these invisible weapons. First, there is patience. It allows you to observe without rushing, to assess without judgment, and to wait until the timing is right. Second, there is foresight, a capacity to predict patterns, anticipate reactions, and see outcomes before they manifest. Third, there is disciplined silence, a refusal to react in ways that feed the drama others are desperate to create. And finally, there is inner resilience, the steady energy that carries you through challenges without depletion, allowing you to act decisively when it matters most. Contrast this with common but ultimately shallow methods of power: shouting to be heard, arguing to prove a point, or reacting impulsively to insult or threat. These are noisy, exhausting, and easily anticipated by those who have been playing the same game. While others fight visible battles, you are operating at the level of strategy, anticipation, and influence. The results are profound. While they exhaust themselves, you conserve energy. sharpen insight, and gain advantage without drawing attention to your moves. Picture it in everyday life. At work, you've been the quiet contributor overlooked in meetings, the one whose ideas are dismissed until they become indispensable. In family gatherings, your perspective is passed over only for your calm solutions to eventually resolve conflicts that seemed unsolvable. In social circles, your restraint and patience reveal the character of others as those around you stumble while you maintain composure. Every slight, every dismissal, every underestimation becomes fuel for your growth and insight. The power of silence lies in its ability to reveal truth. When you refrain from reacting, others inadvertently expose their intentions, weaknesses, and limitations. Arguments, manipulations, or attempts to provoke are stripped bare. People reveal themselves by their own energy, their own missteps, while you simply watch, learn, and allow natural consequences to unfold. This is not passivity, it is precision in patience. It is letting the world set its own traps and then observing as those traps ensnare those who laid them. There is also a profound sense of personal economy in this strategy. By conserving your energy for moments that truly matter, you amplify your impact. You are not reacting to every slight or every provocation. Instead, you deploy your influence where it counts. This creates the element of surprise, a quiet justice that astonishes those who misjudged you. Their assumptions collapse not by confrontation, but by your unwavering presence and strategic timing. And yes, there is joy in witnessing the fallacy of others' judgments. That quiet satisfaction, the knowledge that those who underestimated you are left scrambling while you stand undisturbed, is not arrogance. It is validation of your discipline, foresight, and resilience. It is empowerment through mastery of the unseen, and it reinforces the truth you've always carried within. Your strength was never meant to be obvious. It was always meant to be enduring. By understanding and embracing this silent strength, you step fully into the role of the chosen one, the observer, the strategist, the spiritual force moving with clarity while the world reacts blindly. Each experience, each dismissal, each misjudgment becomes a lesson, a preparation, a layer of armor that allows you to move through life with confidence, insight, and undeniable presence. This is the core of your power, being unseen, but unstoppable, quiet, but unshakable, patient, but ready for decisive action. The world may continue to underestimate you, but that is your advantage. You are learning to move in a way that turns apparent weakness into strategic leverage. And every silent moment, every observed pattern, every calculated restraint builds the life of influence, clarity, and authority you were always meant to inhabit. Now that you've recognized the power of silent strength, it's time to see how that force translates into the real world, where every move counts and every reaction or lack thereof can shift outcomes. Life doesn't always hand out fair battles, and the people around you rarely reveal their intentions up front. That's why mastering the art of strategy in everyday life is essential for the chosen ones among us. The first step is observation and pattern recognition. Pay attention to behaviors, words, and habits, not just in moments of confrontation, but in the subtle, quiet routines people follow. Watch the way colleagues respond under pressure, how family members maneuver when they want approval, and how friends react when outcomes don't favor them. Every repeated behavior, every predictable overreaction, every concealed agenda is a pattern you can read, anticipate, and use. Understanding these patterns allows you to act with clarity while others are still scrambling to interpret reality. Next, embrace the power of turning others' obsession or fixation into your advantage. When someone underestimates or fixates on you, their attention becomes a resource you can leverage. Every whispered assumption, every calculated attempt to provoke, every effort to undermine you, reveals information about their weaknesses. By letting their energy flow where it naturally goes, you allow them to entangle themselves in their own preconceptions. Their obsession becomes a trap they built for themselves, and you, the quiet observer, remain untouched. Central to this strategy is silence and non-reaction. When provoked, you resist the urge to respond according to the script others expect. Do not argue, do not justify, do not retaliate in ways that reinforce their narrative. Instead, hold your energy, watch the unfolding outcome, and allow events to reveal the truth. This is not inaction. It is calculated patience and application of restraint as a weapon. Your quiet presence disrupts the expected flow, and what seemed like weakness to others becomes a demonstration of inner control. Equally important is targeting illusions rather than individuals. The goal is never to humiliate or destroy a person, but to expose false narratives, misconceptions, and artificial authority. When someone misjudges you, their own assumptions reveal gaps in logic, character flaws, or insecurity. By identifying these illusions and allowing them to collapse naturally, you achieve a silent victory, a triumph that leaves you intact while revealing truth with surgical precision. Consider practical examples. In a corporate environment, perhaps your suggestions are ignored in meetings. While others rush to speak, you quietly study the group dynamics, noting who listens, who deflects, and who attempts to claim credit. Weeks later, when a challenge arises, you present a solution that not only resolves the issue but also highlights the gaps and missteps of those who dismissed you. You've won the battle without noise, without conflict, and without drama. At home, perhaps family members underestimate your ability to mediate conflict. You listen, you observe, you remember past patterns, and then at the right moment you intervene in a way that reshapes the conversation. The respect you gain is not demanded. It is naturally earned because your timing and insight were invisible until revealed. In social circles, the principle is the same. People who attempt to undermine you or control narratives often expose themselves simply by continuing their behaviors. Your restraint, observation, and eventual decisive action reveal the truth without confrontation. Their own assumptions become the vehicle for your influence. Every challenge, every slight, every instance of being overlooked is a training ground for your silent power. Each moment gives you the opportunity to refine patience, deepen insight, and strengthen the capacity to act with precision. While others expend energy reacting impulsively, you conserve yours, preparing for the moments that truly matter. The lesson for you watching now is simple yet profound. Every situation where you feel underestimated or ignored is a laboratory for your mastery. You are cultivating skills that cannot be taught in books, cannot be observed from the outside, and cannot be duplicated by those who act loudly and impulsively. You are learning to move in alignment with a deeper strategy, one that turns apparent disadvantage into long-term advantage. By observing patterns, leveraging others' focus, practicing strategic silence, and targeting illusions rather than people, you equip yourself with a mental and spiritual arsenal. You become the quiet force that others fail to predict, the invisible strategist who acts with timing, precision, and authority. Remember this as you navigate the everyday battles of life. Each dismissal, each misjudgment, each underestimated moment is not a setback. It's a chance to prepare to grow and to win silently. The power you are cultivating isn't about dominance. It's about mastery, presence, and influence that others cannot see coming but cannot ignore once it reveals itself. This is the essence of being a chosen one in action. The strategic, unseen, unstoppable force moving through the world while remaining entirely untouchable. Now that you understand the power of silent strategy in action, it's time to explore how to build presence and influence without ever needing to announce it. True impact isn't always loud. It isn't measured by how many people see you, hear you, or applaud your every move. The most profound influence happens quietly in the way your presence shifts the dynamics around you, reshapes perception, and challenges the very assumptions of those who underestimate you. The first principle is being hidden yet impactful. You don't need to stand on a stage to command attention. In fact, the more ordinary, the more harmless you appear, the more freedom you have to maneuver unseen. People rarely notice the subtle preparations, the disciplined energy, or the refined strategy behind your calm exterior. They only notice the results, the solutions, the shifts in the room, the clarity that emerges when you act. Your power is camouflaged in normality, allowing you to move through life like a shadow that influences the light. Consider the effect of timely presence. The energy you bring into a space, whether at work, family gatherings, or social environments, is enough to change the tone without a single word. You arrive, you observe, and the environment subtly aligns with your frequency. Conversations take a different direction. Decisions that seemed stalled move forward. Even without overt action, people sense the influence of your energy. You are in essence a spiritual strategist, a silent architect shaping outcomes before they fully materialize. Another crucial aspect is reflection and mirroring. By being steadfast in your presence and clear in your boundaries, you force others to confront themselves not with judgment, but by the contrast of your calm competence against their reactive energy. They see their own insecurities, misjudgments, and assumptions mirrored back to them. This is not about control, it's about revealing truth. The chosen one acts as a living reflection, showing others what is possible while silently highlighting the patterns they refuse to face. This can manifest in everyday situations. In the workplace, when you handle stress without panic, make decisions with clarity, or respond thoughtfully while others react impulsively, you establish a benchmark of competence and calm that others unconsciously measure themselves against. At home, when you listen deeply, respond with insight, or navigate family dynamics with balance, you influence not by argument but by example. In your community or social circles, the mere act of showing integrity, patience, and resilience reshapes expectations. People begin to adjust consciously or unconsciously because your energy signals standards they can neither ignore nor fabricate. The key to this kind of influence is patience and timing. The world often expects immediate flashy victories. But lasting impact is not about reacting to every moment or proving yourself in the instant. It's about acting when the moment is right, when your insight, preparation, and energy converge to create a result that cannot be denied. That is the essence of quiet mastery. You win without drama, without noise, and without leaving anyone doubting your capabilities. The timing of your actions magnifies their effect far beyond what raw aggression or loud confrontation ever could. Furthermore, this kind of influence allows you to shape outcomes while remaining untouchable. By focusing on your own presence, energy, and alignment, you do not expend effort trying to control others. Instead, they reveal themselves through their reactions, and the environment naturally adjusts to the authority and clarity you emanate. Your influence becomes both invisible and undeniable, a paradox that those who rely on theatrics, manipulation, or noise cannot anticipate or counter. This approach transforms challenges into opportunities. Every situation where someone doubts you, undermines you, or misjudges your intent is a stage for silent influence. Each miscalculation by others becomes a demonstration of your foresight, patience, and strategic mastery. By remaining measured, deliberate, and present, you teach without teaching, lead without dictating, and win without fighting. Remember, the chosen one's power lies in creating lasting impact without performing for validation. Your victories are cumulative, layered, and resilient. They are recognized not because you shout, but because your presence, timing, and integrity leave an indelible mark on everyone and everything around you. You are not just surviving the world, you are shaping it. And that is how you become a spiritual operative in real life, moving silently, acting strategically, and leaving influence that endures far beyond the noise of ordinary life. By understanding and applying these principles, you step fully into a role that is both invisible and profoundly effective, commanding respect, altering outcomes, and cultivating a presence that cannot be ignored or replicated. That is the art of influence mastery and legacy in motion. A power that is subtle, deliberate, and eternal. As we arrive at the final chapter of this journey, it is time to pause, breathe, and fully appreciate the magnitude of what you embody. You are not merely existing, you are growing, thriving, and influencing the world through the power of your inner strength, your discipline, and your alignment with purpose. Every challenge you faced, every time someone underestimated or dismissed you, has not weakened you. It has refined your clarity, strengthened your resilience, and sharpened your capacity to act with precision. The true measure of your strength is not applause, recognition, or external approval. It is the quiet mastery you carry within, the calm authority you exercise, and the unwavering focus that guides your choices. Every obstacle you've encountered has been an opportunity, not a roadblock. Life's trials were never meant to destroy you. They were carefully calibrated to train you in patience, strategy, and discernment. You have learned to move through life with intentional restraint, observing patterns, analyzing behavior, and preparing for the moments that matter most. While others react impulsively, exhaust their energy, and chase temporary recognition, you have cultivated a presence that is deliberate, measured, and enduring. This is the essence of silent influence, a power that operates beneath the surface yet shapes outcomes in ways others cannot predict. The first key lesson is that you do not need validation from anyone else. Your worth is inherent, and your victories do not require external acknowledgement. Those who doubted you, who attempted to provoke or undermine you, have revealed themselves through their own patterns. Their reactions, miscalculations, and assumptions confirm what you have always known. Your influence is real, your authority is intrinsic, and you do not need to prove yourself. By embracing this, you free yourself from the exhausting pursuit of approval and position yourself in a place of sovereign power and clarity. Second, understand that true victory is often quiet and invisible. Loud confrontations, flashy displays, or overreactions may seem like success in the moment, but they are fleeting. The power of the chosen one comes from strategic patience, foresight, and timing, acting when conditions align and your influence is maximized. Your energy, choices, and presence produce results that outlast any noise. Those who underestimated you will realize too late that the victories they thought were hidden are actually permanent and undeniable. Third, your approach demonstrates that the world reveals itself through your observation, not your reaction. By remaining still, discerning, and intentional, you allow others to expose themselves through their own actions, words, and patterns. You do not need to confront them directly. Your strength lies in your ability to see clearly, conserve energy, and strike with precision when the moment calls for it. The silence, patience, and measured response that some may misread as passivity is in truth a strategic form of power that ensures your influence is long-lasting and deeply effective. Now reflect on how this applies to your everyday life. In the workplace, your steady presence and strategic insight quietly guide outcomes while others scramble to react. In family dynamics, your calm judgment and measured interventions establish standards without conflict. In your community and social circles, your integrity, discipline, and composure influence others subtly but profoundly. Every decision, every restraint, every quiet act contributes to a lasting and undeniable authority that others feel even if they cannot fully articulate it. Before we close, I encourage you to engage with this message. Like this video if it resonates, share it with someone who could benefit from understanding the power of silent influence, and leave a comment reflecting on your own experiences of patience, observation, or strategic action. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel to continue exploring insights, strategies, and teachings designed to empower chosen ones, helping you cultivate clarity, influence, and resilience in your life. Finally, carry this truth forward. Your power is not dependent on noise, recognition, or external validation. Your victories are enduring because they are aligned with your values, purpose, and strategy. Stand firm in your alignment. Move with precision and allow your presence to demonstrate mastery and influence. You are a force that operates quietly but unmistakably, a chosen one whose authority, patience, and clarity shape not only your life but also the environment around you. This is your legacy. This is your triumph. You are unseen yet undeniable, silent yet unstoppable, aligned yet infinitely influential. Walk into your world knowing that your presence, your insight, and your inner strength are permanent, and that every choice you make now continues to build a life of empowerment, mastery, and quiet yet unstoppable impact.